Hey guys, Anthony from Anthony's Customs back to do another figure review. This time I'm looking at the NECA Player Select RYU HAYABUSA from the Ninja Gaiden 2 line. It's not actually a line since it's just the one figure, but it's still a figure worth looking at. If you collect action figures, this is one you probably should pick up. I'm not going to say over and over again how great it is. I'm just going to let the figure do its own talking. I'll explain the articulation, the paint detail, that kind of thing, but just watch the review. You'll see if this figure is for you. It probably is. I want to start off by looking at the accessories. First thing we have are two of these weapon accessories. I'm pretty sure they're called tonfas, but they're basically just things that he can hold, put on his forearms like that, kind of, and then use them as weapons. They're kind of large. I guess they were like that in the game. I don't really remember, but they look kind of goofy on the figure. I think he does come with alternate hands to hold them, so holding them is not a problem. He can hold them no problem at all. But they're really big and bulky, so I don't care for them too much. I don't really like them. He comes with, if you have one of the newer versions, he comes with the three removable throwing knives, kunai, I believe that's how they're pronounced. If you got one of the first versions, he didn't come with them. You had to contact NECA and they would send them to you. But most of excuse me, most of the ones that you find now, if you can find one in the store, will have those already. He also has the removable sword sheath. It just slides out from the spot that it's on his back. I'm just going to leave it in there though. No need to take it out. You can see what it looks like. I'd imagine most people leave it on the back anyway. And of course, the sword that comes with the sheath. He holds it really well. There you go. A lot of detail on the sword. You can see there's some actual sculpt work on the blade of the sword, and then the handle is really nice also. In and out of the sheath, no problem. Don't worry about the paint rubbing off. It'll stay. It fits nice and loosely, but enough to keep it in there. So those are the accessories. Let's go ahead and get into the articulation of the figure. He's got all the articulation you could think of. If you've been watching the Soda Street Fighter reviews, it's very similar to that. Let's start with the feet, I guess. He's got the toe joint there. His foot is on a bit of a pivot at the ankle. Not a whole lot, but it's in there. And then the foot has the regular joint in there as well. It has a swivel also at the top of the ankle ball joint. So a lot of movement in the foot. Double jointed knee, standard ball joint in the hip with the thigh swivel. Well, the ball swivels too, but they both move in there. The regular waist twist, ab crunch, shoulder ball joint, double jointed elbow, and then the wrist is obviously they're removable, so there's pegs in there that'll swivel, and the regular hinge. Neck is on a ball joint, the neck itself, and then the head is on a ball joint on top of the neck. So a little extra motion on the head, so that's pretty cool. A lot of articulation on this guy. Let's talk about the sculpt and the paint. The sculpt is really great in most areas. If you look at the face, let's go ahead and start with the face. If you can see, get him so that the camera can get an angle. Just look at the detail work on the mask. Great detail on the mask and on the eyes. The sculpt is just great. There's texture to the face part. A lot of texture throughout the figure on the chest. You can see all the little straps. They all actually stick out a little bit, like a real strap would. On the hands and the forearms, same thing. A lot of different types of paint, a lot of different textures going on. The straps are all there. Just very nice. Some shininess to give them like a more vinyl look or patent leather on the gloves. Same thing for the legs. There's texture throughout. And then you have the kunai. Pull it out so you can see. They just slide in and out right there. They look cool when you put them in this hand also. It's kind of a hassle to get them to stay. The best way to do it probably is to put it between the fingers like that. But it's pretty cool. I like that. I like doing that. And then there's a lot of detail on the boot as well. Paint app is really nice. Complements the sculpt very nicely. The scarf, I guess you could call it thing, it almost feels like real cloth. It's got a lot of texture on it. It's like all texture, and it's very soft vinyl, and it's just connected at the very front of his neck so that it doesn't move around too much on its own, but it'll move around enough. And then you can see all the straps on his back and some details on the sword while we're here. It looks just like the sword from the game. A lot of detail. Go ahead and zoom out so I can measure him and wrap up the review on this guy. As you can see, it's just really, really great figure. Legs are going to be slightly bent still just because that's how the pose is that I have him in, but you can get a general idea of the height. Put this right here. Just about 7 inches, so 7-inch scale. Not quite in line with the Marvel Legends or the Soda, but who cares? It's an awesome figure. I wasn't a great big fan of the games, but this figure is just so nice I had to get it. The only real problem with the sculpt is the lower torso is kind of bland and the hip ball joints look a little out of place. It's not a big enough deal to worry about in my opinion. If you get a chance to get this guy for under 20 bucks, pick him up. If it's 25, 30 bucks, it's probably still worth it in my opinion, but that's going to have to be a judgment call that you have to make since you're the one shelling out the hard-earned money. But there you go. It might as well be, let's see if I can get him to stand without falling. Might as well be the in-game rendering. Just looks awesome. Ankle joints on this one are a little bit loose, but I'd imagine that's just the way it is on this one. There we go. Don't fall. Okay, so there you have it. RYU Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden 2 from NECA. A great figure overall. If I had to rate it, I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's just awesome. So go pick it up if you get a chance. In the meantime, keep watching my reviews, leave me some comments, and keep collecting. Thanks for watching.